Hello. If you've come to receive information on how to apply for a McKnight Artist Fellowship in Creative Writing administered by the Loft, you've come to the right place. Founded on the belief that Minnesota thrives when its artists thrive, the McKnight Foundation's Art and Cultures program is one of the oldest and largest of its kind in the country. Support for individual working Minnesota artists has been a cornerstone of the program since it began in 1982. The McKnight Artist Fellowships program provides annual unrestricted cash awards to outstanding mid-career Minnesota artists in 14 different creative disciplines. Program partner organizations administer the fellowships and structure them to respond to the unique challenges of different disciplines. Currently, the foundation contributes about $2.8 million per year to its statewide fellowships. The Loft has partnered with McKnight for over 40 years to offer fellowships to Minnesota writers in creative prose, poetry, spoken word, and children's literature. One $25,000 fellowship is awarded each year in children's literature, including poetry, fiction, or creative nonfiction. The award alternates between the award for a writer for children 8 years of age or younger and the award for middle age and young adult literature. 4 $25,000 fellowships are offered in alternating years to writers of creative prose and poetry. They alternate between creative prose, defined as creative nonfiction and memoir, and poetry and spoken word. In addition to the award money, McKnight Fellows are also entitled to up to $3,000 in reimbursement to attend a writing conference or retreat during their fellowship year, or to do research or a writing retreat of their own design. Now, before you decide to apply, I strongly suggest you read the eligibility requirements on the website and make sure you are eligible. In brief, the award is intended for practicing Minnesota artists who are not in a degree granting program. So, you're not in high school trying to get your degree. You're not in college trying to get your BA, your MA, or your MFA or PhD. All right. These fellowships do not support the work of playwriting. You can look at the Playwright Center for their McKnight Fellowships for playwrights, if you are a playwright and have come to the wrong place for this video. This award does not support journalism or nonfiction that is written primarily for educational or technical use. Now, this video, which you're watching now, is designed to be a quick walkthrough of the application. I won't be going through the ton of information that's readily available on the application of itself. I figure you can read it. It's right there in front of you. I'm just going to go directly over the application itself very quickly. And I will offer commentary at certain spots where applicants historically in the past have had some trouble. All right, so let's just dive right into it. I'm going to share my screen here and we're going to take a look at the application itself. Now, the first thing you want to do is go to our lovely website at www.loft.org. That's LOFT.org. Again, that ORG is important unless you want to look at Ann Taylor's Loft fall line of clothing. Then you click on this award button here. The drop-down menu will give you a list of the many offerings we offer to Minnesota writers. You want to click on McKnight. You'll come to this page, the McKnight Artist Fellowship for Writers. If the deadline has not passed, this will say the award is open. You can read a little bit more about the McKnight down here, if you scroll down, about past recipients, more information about the fellowships, guidelines are here. The due date is here. You'll notice it's 11:59 p.m. And then whenever the deadline date for the year will also be here. Now, 11:59, we strongly suggest that you not wait until the last minute to apply for this fellowship. Also, be aware that our offices are not open until 11:59 on that day. We close at 5. So whether it's online or in person, no one is going to be able to answer questions for you past 5 p.m. We leave it open to 11:59, figuring folks can kind of problem solve and help themselves if there are issues. But make sure that you don't wait till the last minute. Nobody wants that. If you do have problems applying when you go, you probably want to check in with submittable. Okay, submittable. Once we go back up here and click this orange button, you are sent to submittable, and here you will come to the form and a reminder of the deadline, more information about the fellowship, judging, and eligibility requirements. Again, I strongly suggest you go over these again to make sure, and do it, before you prepare all your materials, because no one wants the heartbreak of, putting together all the material and then reading something and like, oh, I'm not eligible anymore. All right, so read that first. Now we are going to go down. Again, I'm not going to go over this because it's readily available. And we'll just go over things once we get down to the application itself. So here you'll see that you'll need to check a box for whatever category you're applying for. A question we often get is, can I apply for more than one category or year? The answer is no. So let's say that you consider yourself poetry, but you're like, oh, I think I can do spoken word too. My stuff is kind of like spoken word. And I also write books for kids. So why don't I just apply in 3 separate categories this year and take my chances? You're not allowed to do that. Furthermore, McKnight Foundation considers all of its fellowships across disciplines to be one program, and you can only apply to one program a year. So let's say you're a graphic novelist and your work is both visual art and writing, and you say to yourself, well, why don't I just apply to the McKnight in visual arts and the McKnight in literature and double my chances? You can't do that. You got to pick one. People often ask, well, which one do I choose? And my advice is always pick what you think you are strongest in. Other than that, it's really up to chance. This is pretty self-explanatory. Put your legal first name and last name. If you need to use a pen name in the event that you win a fellowship, just email me. But here's where you want to use your legal name, because if you do win, we are going to need this data to report to the IRS, et cetera, et cetera. All right. Email address, enter an email address that you check frequently. The reason being, this is the primary way we will get a hold of you. So, this is not the time to put in your cousin's email address so that you don't get spam. Phone number, same deal. You definitely want a phone number that you will pick up for if you win this fellowship and I call you to tell you that you've just won $25,000 to support your work. Same with street address. We will most likely mail you your paper check to this street address. Again, if you're moving or something like this, just put in the address that you have now. If you do win a fellowship, I usually check with you to make sure that you're still living in the same place. And if you've moved by the time of the fellowship, we will take care of that. Scrolling down, the Loft e-newsletter. We would love for you to sign up for this if you have not already, but I'm going to do the Minnesota thing and say no pressure. Demographics. All of this helps us serve the community better. So please check all that apply. If other, feel free to specify. And here's a question that you're going to have to click: certify that I am not a full-time student in a degree granting program. Again, check the eligibility requirements. And if you are able to check this, then you're good to go and able to continue. Now, eligibility documentation, proof of publication. So this goes back to the eligibility requirements for each category, and it's different for each category. In short, if you have a book published, this is the easiest part of the application. If you have one book published, all you really have to do is upload a file of the the title page of your book, which has the title, your name, and the publisher. That's all you got to do. People ask, well, if I have more than one book, should I upload proof of publication for all of them? No. The judges don't see this. This is for people who vet the application to make sure you're eligible. So the judge doesn't even see this. So that also, that leads to another question we also get. Should I put proof of publication of my best book or my most recent book or my most award-winning book in this part, in the proof of publication? And again, the answer is no. You only need to prove that you have been published to meet the eligibility requirements. You just need to put the minimum up there. If you don't have a book published, and let's say you meet the eligibility requirements a different way. Let's say that you're a poet and you have 12 poems across 3 different anthologies or websites or the like, right? You only need to provide proof of those poems to meet the minimum number of requirements. If you have like 100 poems published over many years, you don't have to list all of them. It's not going to help your cause. So again, look at the category that you're applying to, look at what proof of publication you're required, and just do the minimum here and get that out of the way so you don't have to worry about it anymore. All right. Proof of Minnesota residency. This is actually also pretty simple. Minnesota driver's license or Minnesota state ID or utilities bill with your name and address and date on it. Okay. Pretty easy. You can also like just take a picture with your phone, as I believe the young people do these days, of your ID or your bill, and you can upload it here. Biographical statement. What is this? This will not be seen by the judges. This is a simple paragraph about you that we can very easily put into the press release in the event that you win. So do pay attention to this. It doesn't have to be a masterpiece. Make it short, succinct, make it usable, because basically we will go to this first if we write our press release in the event that you win. So trust me, if you get that call from me in March and I'm telling you, you just won $25,000. You're probably going to be jumping up and down. You're going to be drinking champagne or a nice fruit juice or whatever you prefer to celebrate. And you're not going to want to deal with the emails from me saying, hey, give me your updated bio. All right. Now, the work sample. Again, the work samples are different for each category. Pay attention to them. All the information is here. But a couple of things that people get kind of hung up on that I'll go over is like, make sure your work sample is anonymous. So unlike the proof of publication above, which we use to vet, which needs your name and stuff on it, this work sample is what the judges actually see. So you do not want any identifying information on your work sample. So your work sample is a separate document from your proof of publication, right? Your work sample is just your work. It should be your best work. It should not have your name, your email, or anything on it. If you happen to use your name in your own work, that's fine. Just either redact that name or change it to a pseudonym that is not associated with you for this work sample, okay? Again, the technical stuff, whether it's single or double space, that's clearly listed here. I won't go over that. I'll go over a couple of things that people often ask. With the work sample, does it need to be published work in this work sample? No, it does not. Can I put old stuff in my work sample? Yes, you can. The caveat is you cannot use a work sample that you've used to previously win a McKnight if you have already won a McKnight Artist Fellowship. So let's say you won 5 years ago and you're now past the window where you're allowed to apply again. You can't use the same manuscript you used to win 5 years ago to apply again. If you're an honorable mention, that's fine. Honorable mentions can submit the same work sample, but not if you are a past fellowship winner. All right. Can I submit work that is from more than one anthology or more than one book? yes. What you want to do is the best advice I can give to you, any writer, regardless of discipline, is put your very best work forward. Put your A game forward. This is not the time to put work up that needs a little bit of tweaking or is a little rough around the edges but has potential. This should be your most polished, best work that you have. Okay, so the McKnight Fellowship is not necessarily a project-based fellowship, right? This is about rewarding the work that you've done so that you can create more work. Put your best work forward and put yourself in the shoes of the judges, all right? That they're reading so much quality work from your fellow Minnesotan writers. You're going to want to grab their attention immediately, and you're going to want to earn their respect as a reader and a judge immediately, okay? Put your best work forward, read the work sample technical requirements carefully, all right? And then you just upload it here. If you want to save the draft and come back to it, just click Save Draft, and then you can come back. Like, let's say you forgot something or you want to double check something. All you got to do is hit Save Draft. If you're done, hit Submit. Okay, and that's really it. I'm going to answer a couple of frequently asked questions that I often get here in just a moment. Apologies, my screen fell asleep. I've been talking for so long. All right, so some frequently asked questions. If you are a writer, let's say that you're a writer and your book is upcoming, like it's not quite published yet, but it's upcoming. Are you eligible for the award to, as proof of publication? Can I use the book that is about to be published to prove that I am eligible? You can, as long as the publication date falls within the time frame that you will find in the eligibility requirements. Generally speaking, if you're applying for a fellowship and your book is published by May of that year, then you are eligible. You just have to submit an email or a contract with your publisher as proof of publication, and you're good to go. Let's see. Do works published in anthologies and websites count towards eligibility requirements? They do. There are some caveats. They can't be a student-run anthology or website, and the website can't be your own. So you can't just create your own website, Bao's Awesome Poems, and publish a bunch of your own poems up there and then say you made the eligibility requirements. Obviously have some common sense with that. If you are a self-published author, can you apply? You can, as long as your self-published book went through an organization that had an editorial process. So in the case that you went through a self-publisher, but you went through an editorial process, what you can do is, again, submit a very simple letter from the publisher, ask them to submit a very simple letter from an employee from that organization to say that your manuscript and your publication went through an editorial process with them. You don't have a computer. Can the Loft upload and complete my application for me? Unfortunately, no, that is beyond our capability. If you don't have a computer, I suggest you check in with your public library to see if you can use their computer, see what their hours and sign up process is, or ask a friend or a relative to help you. When are the winners announced? Generally speaking, if all goes well, then March of the fellowship year. If you have any other questions, please do feel free to reach out to me specifically. You can reach me at B as in boy, P as in Peter, H as in Hector, I as in island at loft.org. bphi@loft.org. Remember, the earlier you ask me these questions, the better chance I have in responding to you in an orderly and timely fashion. Generally speaking, we don't offer help of the week of the due date because things get so hectic. So we highly encourage you to look at the guidelines, identify any questions or problems you may have, and ask me before then. I'm also available for individual consultations, questions about the application, about your manuscript. I don't read the manuscript in terms of the work sample because I'm not a judge. That's not really going to help you, but I can certainly help you with the technical aspects of it in terms of any questions you may have and so on and so forth. But again, you're going to want to check in with me as soon as possible to get on my calendar because my time with the Loft Literary Center in this program is finite. So, definitely reach out to me if you have any questions and concerns that you may have. Other than that, I wish you luck, writers. We live in a great state with a lot of talent, and we're lucky that the McKnight Foundation supports writers and artists like you, like me, like all of us. Good luck.